Greetings, comrades. In this video, we are responding to the questions that you sent following the video that you recorded where we spoke about waivers and the court judgment. Comrade Wonga Mbiri is asking about the application for a study visa for a child born in Zimbabwe but is studying in South Africa. If your child is born in Zimbabwe, studying in South Africa, firstly, they have to have a study visa before they can be admitted to any school in South Africa. This is what the law says. But because your child is already studying in South Africa, you need to apply for their study visa. Firstly, you must, I hope you are on ZEP or any other visa, but if you are on ZEP and you are still waiting for the outcome of your waiver and then you apply for a mainstream visa, it means you have to wait for your own outcome so that you can then apply, because your child is born in Zimbabwe, they will not allow you to apply. So they want you firstly to receive your outcome, which should be positive. Then you move to another visa. Once you have successfully moved to any mainstream visa, then you can apply for their starting permit. Then Comrade Stephen says, our challenge is that we are having more persons using fake waiver receipts. They then get employment in different sectors but accept slave wage and inhuman working conditions. You know, Comrade Stephen Raingwanza, employers want to exploit migrant labor. This is why they will even employ someone who's not documented. So it is not something new that people will produce the fake receipts, and this, I think you are correct that there are some people that might be producing fake receipts which they submit to the employer and they claim to be waiting for the waiver, and they get employed and they accept what you call slave wage. This is what is happening mainly with the people that are not documented, who then get exploited. When they demand a minimum wage, they are promised to be or the employer will simply call the police, or the person will lose their jobs without any benefit, and they employ another undocumented. So that is the challenge that we are having. So we discourage anyone that is producing fake receipts or is using a fake receipt, because this is a criminal offense. If you are caught with a fake waiver receipt, indeed you are going to be arrested. After serving your jail term, you are going to be deported. So let us not do such. Comrade Maposa Tendai, right, I lost my receipt for a waiver which I applied in 2023 March and do not have reference number for the receipt. What should I do to get the other one? At the very first, they do not generate new receipts. So if you lost your receipt, you need to use the passport number. So you go to the police station and do an affidavit. So when you track your permit or your outcome for your waiver outcome, you track it with using your passport number, because they will not generate a new visa. An interesting one, Comrade Tumili Dimo says, I'm sure you are itching to tell Zimbabweans which party to vote for in SA. Pela Zimbabweans have a lot of opinion on how SA should be governed. Zimbabweans, the majority of Zimbabweans do not vote in South Africa. Remember, we spoke about those that are now South Africans who came years back. Some have obtained South African citizenship. They are South Africans, so they vote in South Africa, but the majority do not vote. But you know that of course, because South Africa and Zimbabwe are interlinked, we have the same history, the history of liberation struggle. history against colonialism. So it's natural that we'll prefer a liberation movement to continue to govern in South Africa. It's not a secret. I know that some would be saying we are interfering. We are not interfering, but we have a history with the African National Congress. I know many Zimbabweans that I interact with, right, especially the young ones, they do not like the African National Congress. They prefer EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters. And of course, I see another trend where those who participated in the struggle for national liberation prefer MK Party. But some of us, though we do not vote in South Africa, fine. But we have a history with the African National Congress, and we wish the African National Congress well. I've seen very few Zimbabweans that support the Democratic Alliance. So you know that young people in Zimbabwe, those between 25 to about 40, the majority of them like economic freedom fighters. Then some of us who were young during the struggle, especially from ZEP background, we prefer the ANC to continue. Then those that were of our age, who were in ZANU, they do not prefer ANC because the issue is there is a political relationship, which I've been explaining, a political relationship between ANC and the ZANU-PF. So most Zimbabweans then view ANC as just another ZANU-PF, right? But some of us who understand these things, we know that while there's this relationship, and I'm sure ZANU-PF will be coming to give solidarity, possibly in the final rally, Siyanqoba rally, they might be there. But to some of us, we understand the genesis of this relationship, and we have said in this platform that ANC and the ZANU-PF are not the same. So this is why some of us will then prefer the ANC. And of course, you know that the ANC is in an alliance with the South African Communist Party and of course the COSATU. Then the comrade Comrade Sonene Story says, "How are you, Mr. Mabena? Applied for mainstream visa. I'm left to go to pay at the bank. Is it the right process, or everyone must follow the waiver process?" We said it's not everyone who is on ZEP who applies for a waiver. You only apply for a waiver if you do not meet some requirements. But if you meet all the requirements for the mainstream visa that you are applying for, there is no need for you to apply for a waiver, right? Let me give an example. For instance, you are a teacher, right? You are an English teacher, you teach up to grade 12, but your qualifications are not under critical skills. But the school, say you are teaching in Eastern Cape, the school still wants your services. You then apply. This is why the employer should write a motivating letter to apply to say, I'm a teacher, English teacher. I do not meet the requirements. I need to apply for a general work visa. Then the minister will then make an assessment and grant you the waiver, and they waiver those requirements that will hinder you from applying for a visa, which will then fall under the category of a general work visa. But if you do not need, or you meet all the requirements, for instance, another example, if you are applying, you are married to a South African or someone that is on permanent residence, you are not taking up employment, because the requirement is you do not have to take up employment if it's a spouse visa. You apply straight. There's no need for you to apply for a waiver. But if you do not meet those requirements, indeed you need to apply for the waiver. And Comrade Shellas is an investment company. Okay, this comrade is asking about, he says, thank you, comrade, for your help. What about the issue of driver's license? I'm blocked, did not renew my driver's license. The guy from Gauteng Transport Department put a watermark to make sure no one can help me. Today I went there with my traffic register, passport, receipt, and Home Affairs helped me with the directive from the minister. He said it doesn't work at transport minister unless their minister give directive. Please help me. I need to know what to do. We have been struggling to resolve this with the Department of Transport, but I've seen in our Telegram group some comrades that I knew similar situation managing to apply. So join our Telegram group. Other comrades are going to assist you. And the comrade Sipiwe Ngwenya says, evening, Mabena. We paid 1,550 for those 2 years. And then the comrade says it's going to wait for 2025. Like I said in the video, that if you are waiting for your outcome, there is no need to panic. And comrade previous Nyati says, she writes in English. She says I should I should speak in Isindebele, but she writes in English. She says some of us we don't know English at all. Please try to tell people in Ndebele, please. But she writes in English. Please like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you're on TikTok, please do follow us. Otherwise,